Oh man, here we are. First episode, the pilot, the debut episode of the Discussion Avenue podcast, or Discussion Avenue for short. And if you don't know me, my name's Matt. I'm the host of this podcast. This is my first kind of go at hosting a podcast. I've been on them before, I've guested on a couple, and it's always really awesome just to get on there and shoot the stuff with some people. And a lot of those guys I'm really good friends with, and it's always such a fun time, and I always have such fun with it. So now I kind of want to try and dive into it, just because there's multiple different reasons, and we'll get into that. But if you don't know me, like I said, hi, my name's Matt, or Matt Tattoo, or Matt Beast 1419. I've gone by a couple different names in my lifetime during my content creation journey. I'll say I won't call it a career, because it's not. It's more of a hobby, I guess you can say. Definitely a hobby for sure. I definitely have a lot of fun with it, and I've been doing it since I was 14. And anyways, so let's get straight to the point here. Let's start this presentation off. First bullet point here is what is Discussion Avenue? Not why is Discussion Avenue. What is Discussion Avenue? Discussion Avenue is this podcast, and I've been trying to think up like names and trying to get together the concept of it for quite a while now. I remember texting one of my buddies, and I was telling him I want to make a podcast one day, and I'm trying to think about names and stuff. And that was a while ago. He probably remembers me texting him that, if he's listening to this right now. Shout out to you, Pico. So, yeah, here we are now. And we have finally hammered down the details. And I'm here at my very first episode. And I'm very excited to start this off. So what is Discussion Avenue? Like I was saying that on that first bullet point. Discussion Avenue is a podcast for me to get on here, have a discussion with people, have a discussion with myself, technically, like I'm doing right now. That's not really a discussion, more of just like me talking to a microphone and just whatever. It's mainly just an outlet for my thoughts and an outlet for discussion and for me to let things out. It's a new creative outlet, and I'm very excited about it, more or less. Another part of it is I really want to have more, like, I want to have guests on and have the discussion, because I'm very bad about hitting up people and having discussions with them, especially if it's not over text. I'm just terrible at talking to people, and that's one thing I kind of want to do with here, is kind of break out of my shell, because whenever I do actually talk to anyone, it's very exciting. And I don't mean to sound like I'm just like this huge loner, because if you don't know, I live with my wife. We have a dog and a cat. Of course, I talk to the dogs and the cats. No, I'm just sitting here kidding with y'all. But, I mean, I just want to have more of these organic, natural conversations. I don't really want this to be kind of too scripted out. Of course, there'll be, like, bullet points that any of the guests come on that will kind of stay under, because it's kind of a broad umbrella, this podcast. You see, with content creation, you usually want to be under one sort of niche or umbrella and making stuff under that kind of thing. Like if you're an anime content creator, you just want to talk about anime. If you're a video game guy, you just want to talk about video games. And some of those can be very broad and go off into different subsections, but we're not going to get into all that. See, me, I like talking about different stuff. Like I want to come on here and maybe talk about football, maybe talk about sports in general, basketball, talk about college football, talk about video games, talk about anime, talk about collecting cards, talk about going to college and college experiences, just different random stuff. And it doesn't really fit in anywhere except for this space that I've created, this Discussion Avenue, which is going to be that avenue for discussion, making these different puns on the name because I think it's pretty funny. And we're just going to just drive on this avenue right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stop with the puns on the name, even though it's very fun to do, in my opinion. So, yeah, we're kind of here. And that's kind of what Discussion Avenue is going to be. Somewhere where I can come on here and talk with some people and come on here and share my thoughts into the world. And if anyone ever takes the time to listen to me ramble about anything, and if you're just sitting here just hear me ramble about this right now, I appreciate it. I really appreciate anyone who's ever clicked on a video of mine on YouTube over the past God, what it hasn't been. 13 years that I've been making stuff. If you want kind of a general guideline of me as I've gone through content creation, I started when I was 14, mainly made videos about wrestling. After a while, I kind of grew out of wrestling. It just didn't fit in with me anymore. And I kind of moved on to other things, mainly like anime, video games. For a while, I just made videos about random stuff, and then for a while, I just didn't make any content at all. And a couple of years ago, I came back to making YouTube videos very rarely. Like, I do once every now and then. Mainly, they've just been Pokemon card openings, which has been a huge thing. Just trading cards in general, sports cards, Pokemon cards. I've been hugely into it. I'll go to Walmart constantly all the time, and I'm sure I'm going to have someone on here and we're going to talk about cards. Probably multiple different people on here talking about cards because it's something I really enjoy. So, yeah, you can look forward to that. It'll pretty much just be me talking with different people, and we'll mainly just be talking about, like, some people, of course, people are going to be multifaceted and talk about different stuff they like, but normally we'll try and stick into one topic and talk about that one topic. And of course, if it divulges, it'll divulge because, like I said, I want this to be an organic discussion. It can be a two-way street, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to stop for real on the street puns with the Discussion Avenue name. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of the introduction to this, and I kind of just wanted to get this first episode out there, try and get some guests lined up for the future, see how that goes. Kind of got to try and figure out how I'm going to set all that up, but I just wanted to kind of get this pilot out there and let you know that this is going to be a new avenue for me, and I didn't mean to actually use it that time, but it is what it is at this point. So, yeah, I mean, if you took your time out of your day to listen to this, I highly appreciate it, and thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope you stick around and listen to some of my future stuff I put out on here. So, thank you, and have a good day.